Hello, my mathematicians. Today we are looking at Module 7, Lesson 6, which is all about practicing addition and subtraction using equations. Hopefully by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to solve an addition or subtraction word problem by using an equation to model the problem. So we're going to start with a step it out. It says, after a run, Jared drinks 1 3/4 cups of water. His sister Emily drinks 1 1/2 cups more than Jared. How much water does Emily drink? Draw bar models to help represent the problem. So we are going to just draw a box here to represent Jared's drink. So 1 3/4. Then we know that Emily drinks 1 1/2 more. So her total would look like this. And we're just going to label it a W for how much she drinks. So it says write an equation to model how much water Emily drinks. Well, we were trying to figure out the total of these two right here. So it would be 1 3/4 plus 1 1/2 equals W. Then it says to estimate the answer. Well, 1 3/4 would be close to 2, and 1 1/2 would be close to 1 1/2. So that's going to equal 3 1/2. Then it says rename the mixed numbers with equivalent fractions using common denominator, then solve. Well, we have 1 3/4 equals something, and we have 1 1/2 equals something. If we list out our multiples, we see that 4 is our least common multiple or our common denominator. So 1 3/4 is going to stay the same, and 1 1/2 is going to become 1 and something over 4. We multiply the 2 by 2, so we multiply the 1 by 2, and we get 1 2/4. So we then would have 1 3/4 plus 1 2/4 equals W, which would mean we would have 3/4 plus 2/4 is going to equal 5/4, and 1 plus 1 equals 2. But we can simplify the 5 divided by 4, so 1 with 1 left over, 1 plus 2 equals 3. So we have 3 1/4. So how much water does Emily drink? She drinks 3 1/4 cups. Is our answer reasonable? Yes. It is close to my estimate. And then we're going to turn to the next page. Okay. So it says, after school, Sandra walks to the library, then she walks home. What is the distance from the school to the library? So let's write an addition equation and a related subtraction equation to model the problem. Use D for the distance from the school to the library. Well, if you look here, we're going to use D here. So it would be D plus 1 3/4 equals 5 2/8. So that would be the addition. And then to do the subtraction, we would have 5 and 2/8 minus 1 and 3/4 equals D. So if we estimate that 5 and 2/8 is going to be about 5 minus 2 is going to be about 3. So then it says rename the mixed numbers as equivalent fractions with a common denominator. Then find the distance from the school to the library. Explain the process you used. So we have 5 and 2/8. We're subtracting 1 and 3/4. Our first step is to find a common denominator. So we're going to have 8 and we're going to have 4. 8, 16, 24, 32, 4, 8, 12, 16. So 8's our least common multiple or our common denominator, which means we have 5 and 2/8. It's going to stay the same. And we have 1 and something over 8. We multiply 4 by 2 to get 8. So we're going to do 3 times 2, which is going to be 6. So here I changed the subtraction equation to 5 2/8 minus 1 6/8 equals D. So our first step. So now we have to subtract. We can't take 6/8 away from 2/8, so we have to rename the 5 as a 4. And the 2, we add our denominator to our numerator, so 8 plus 2 is 10. So then renamed 5 and 2/8 so we can subtract. So we have 4 and 10/8 minus 1 and 6/8 equals D. So then we 10/8 minus 6/8 is 4/8, and 4 minus 1 is 3. So D equals 3 and 4/8. Then it asks, is your answer reasonable? Yes, because it is close to my estimate. And that is all for today's lesson. Hopefully you are now able to solve an addition or subtraction word problem by using an equation to model the problem. Remember, in order to be a math person, all you have to do is be a person and do math.